Welcome to Year 11 this year. We're going to have a great year with it, and we're looking forward to catching up with you during the year.
If your student is in 11 Gold, they'll have me, Nathan O'Brien, as their home class teacher. My email address is there on the screen. Reach out by email or give me a call if you need to.
And if they're in 11 Blue, they're going to have Susie Rogers there, and my email is there as well, and you can get in contact at any time.
Our role as your child's home class teacher is to be their first point of call. That can be for academic concerns, pastoral care concerns, and things like that. We're also the teacher for their pastoral care lessons. For my class this year, that will be a little bit different just because of my timetable. But I'm still there to support your student and we'll be checking in with them regularly. We'll be helping them to become a little bit more independent through the course of Year 11 as they start seriously entering their SACE and gearing up for Year 12 as well. And we'll be facilitating some social and emotional learning throughout the year. We're also there to follow up on things like uniform, absentees, and general communication with home. So if you do know that there is something coming up in terms of uniform or absentees, it's really useful if you can get in touch with the front office or a signed note from home so that we know what's happening as well.
The term dates are listed on there. We have some specific student free days, Friday the 8th of March, Monday the 29th of April, Friday the 9th of August, and Friday the 6th of September, and then our student free days at the end, Thursday and Friday the 12th and 13th of December.
Our lesson times haven't changed this year, so we're starting the day at 8:45 with our morning home group. That does mean that we expect students to be in the classroom, seated at their desk, all their bags away, books out, ready to go, so that we can start properly at 8:45. To allow time for all of that to happen, that really means that students should be arriving here at school by 8:40, so that we can start that morning home group on time. We do only have 10 minutes to go through notices and updates, morning prayer, all of those sorts of things. So it's really important that we start on time.
With our uniform policy, it's the same as last year's. Nothing has changed from there. We're expecting everyone to be in the correct uniform. We are taking a look at the people being clean shaven, not wearing any makeup or nail polish to be worn, and jewellery only to have one earring in each ear, and only a watch and a necklace with a cross on it. You're still all required to wear a hat, so please make sure that you provide one and it's at school every day. And our black school shoes. This has been posted on Facebook that we're only requiring to have black leather look-like shoes, not anything else. We do have a follow-up session of the first one is an infringement, second one will be a phone call home, and the third time it will be a day of exclusion in the front office.
If you're ordering from the canteen, we're using the Quicker app again this year. If you're not quite sure how to install it or how to use it, there's some information on our website. So if you head to the Parent Info tab and then click Canteen, scroll down and there's a bit of background for what our canteen offers, and then an introduction to the Quicker app. So it's a cashless ordering system that allows us to more easily handle lunch orders. It says a range of information there on policies, what to expect if you cancel an order and get a refund, when orders need to be in by, all of those sorts of bits and pieces. And down the bottom is a link to click to come through to some installation instructions that either you or for our older students, perhaps your student, might like to use to install the Quicker app to be ordering lunch orders, replacement hats, all of those sorts of bits and pieces.
With our the students' responsibility, we're trying to get them to actually have some responsibility within the classroom. So there is a jobs roster available. We're trying to get them to be autonomous in it so that we are not constantly reminding them to do their jobs. They are in groups, so they have a group mentality in order to help get things done, like emptying the bin, closing windows, and so on. The personal, social and emotional learning program, that is where we are doing our leadership day and we're preparing for it and developing our year 11s for next year's leadership to help them to see the qualities that they can bring to our table. And our complementary pastoral care program is mainly dealing with work experience, which is taking up the first 2 semesters, and in amongst that we'll also have our child protection curriculum.
As in previous years, we're using Sector as our learning management system. That's got 2 platforms depending on who's accessing it. So your students will be accessing via Sector Learn. In there they can access their timetable, course and class information, their assessments and all of that sort of thing. And as a parent or guardian, you have access via Sector Engage, which really gives you access to all that same sort of information, your students' timetable, their upcoming assessments, their grades when those are released, as well as daily notices and those sorts of things as well.
Okay, so welcome to our Sector Learn landing page. This is what these students will see. If you have already had a look at Sector Engage, you'll note that it looks very, very similar with fewer options down the side, but when you click in, you'll be able to see all of your children who are at Caritas. If you have more than one, all of their details will be here. On the landing page, when you first sign in, there is a bit of an overview and some guides to how to use it. So you can have a look there. The main points to note are the assessments, the courses, the dashboard, and the timetable. And there's notices as well for students, which we will go through in morning home group. But if a student is away, they can always look there. So for the assessments, when we click on the assessments tab, it will have an automatic list of all the subjects that they are in for this semester. And I'm going to have a look in the English tab because I know that there's an assessment there at the moment. When you click on a subject, it will automatically come up with both upcoming and any completed assessments. So at the start of the new year, we don't have any completed assessments as of yet. But when it is, it will have all the feedback and the grade from that assessment. So having a look at the alphabet autobiography assessment, the first thing that will come up is the teacher marking and feedback. So this is where all the comments and the rubric will appear for the assessments once it's been completed and marked. Into the overview, it will have the assessment task sheet and any other pertinent details about the assessment. And the submissions tab, which will disappear after the due date, but the submissions tab is where the student uploads their assignments. All they have to do is either drag and drop their file onto this bit here, or they can click add file and add it from their device. They don't have to click anything else. That is automatically submitted to their teacher. Moving back from the assessments, we can have a look at the courses. The courses are each of the subjects that they are studying. Okay, so again, I'm going to have a look into the English tab because I know that there is work there. In fact, I believe there is in all of them. But in the English tab, the first thing that will come up is the cover page. And when you scroll down, you'll see what is required of students throughout Year 8 and the assessments that they can expect throughout the year. So that description is there for you to peruse at your own leisure. Coming across, so if I click on today, that will be the work that they have completed today, or the page for today. So we're working on proofreading for their first assignment. And so all the instructions will be here, as well as a link to their actual assessment cover sheet as well. I know other subjects, sometimes I have a little bit more detail. So if I have a look at the maths, you can see every little world here is where there is more content. So again, you can scroll down and have a look at the aim and description and assessment of that particular topic or that subject, and clicking on today will take you to what they have done today. So they have their learning intention success criteria and what they're going to be covering Moving back from the courses into our side panel here, in the dashboard, we have any homework that has been set, which can be moved across into the task list. So for this particular student, they don't have any homework, either because it's already been finished or because it hasn't been set for today. They also have their timetable there. That's a minimized view. There is a larger tab over here that will open the week's timetable as well. They also have access to the notices for the day. So these are where we get all of our important notices for the day. They will be read out in morning home group, which are really helpful. But if a student is going to miss their notices, it is there for them. Finally, down into the timetable, and this one has been color coded already, but that has the week's timetable and all the times of the lessons. If the student actually clicks on the subject, so we'll have a look at 8 Gold HPE, it tells you the time, which lesson, which room, and who the teacher is. So that is a bit of a crash course into Sector-Learn. As I mentioned, there are some other videos and documents to help you guide your way through it. And if you have any questions, you can also let me know and I'll help you out as well.
With laptops and learning resources, the IT agreement was signed a few years ago, so we encourage you to reread it. It is on our website system. It is the student's responsibility to make sure that their laptop is charged and ready to use at the beginning of each day. So we're requiring that laptops are going home and being charged. We expect them to last for the whole day with the charger.
With our phone policy, we still have the expectation that if a teacher sees or hears a phone, they confiscate it. Students would then be able to collect that phone from the office at the end of the day. If there's a recurring issue, we may contact home and ask that someone from home collect it at the end of the day, just so that you're aware that this has been an issue at school as well. For our senior students, things can be a little bit difficult and different. There may be times where their phones can be used for educational purposes. In those cases, their teachers will make it really, really clear the how, the why, and the when for this. It's not that we're just more flexible because they're senior students. It is because there is a learning purpose for them, whether that be capturing some evidence of their learning or using it as a measurement tool, depending on the subject and the requirements. So while there may be some exceptions to allow phones to be used in the classroom, phones should certainly never be seen during break times and will be confiscated if they're used during break times.
With work experience this year, that is going to be happening in term 2, week 10, the last week of term. It is only for 4 days, Monday the 1st to Thursday the 4th of July. On the Friday the 5th, we're expecting all students to be back at school, where we'll be doing a rundown and a brief debriefing on how things went with everyone's work experience. It is a compulsory session of the workplace practices subject in order to get the 10 credits. There are 4 tasks which will actually be occurring throughout the 2 terms, and placement is one of those things. We're hoping that they will find a place that they're interested in, being also aware that some places do not take work experience students due to the privacy nature of their job.
The Flinders Uni Assessment Centre will be happening again this year. So that's an opportunity for Year 11 students to apply for some courses offered by Flinders Uni and to be assessed in a bit of a different format. So throughout the day, they'll complete different tasks and activities. And if they're successful, then they are guaranteed entry into that course as long as they meet the prerequisites for that course and obtain their SACE. So it just takes the pressure off a little bit for students who are considering a university pathway after school. So we really encourage anyone who might be thinking of university to have a go at the assessment centre. You don't have to accept that course at the end of year 12 if you don't want to, but it can be a really nice safety net there just to take the pressure off a little bit in what can be a really stressful year. It will be held locally somewhere in the region. The dates and venue will be communicated a little bit later, usually towards the end of term 3. So just keep an eye out for communication on that.
The AI, artificial intelligence in schools, and the ChatGPT can be used as a research tool. However, to be successful, students will need to apply their learning in a way that demonstrates an understanding. They cannot just cut and paste it into their assignment. By regularly checking with their teacher to see how things are going and their understanding of the application of work would be a lot better. Now, more than ever, the drafting process is a vital process for the student and the teacher for their learning environment to keep them on track.
That's all we have for you. As we mentioned at the start, if there's any questions or concerns, do feel free to reach out to us. Otherwise, we look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks.
Bye.